If you woke up to find 99.99% of the population disappeared overnight, what would you do? Just for reference, taking away 99.99% the population leaves 760,000 people on Earth. Anyways, I would start immediately working on how to have enough food for winter. Edit. Yes, supermarket. Good idea. Okay, well, I will still immediately start working on how to survive winter in general. Another edit. Okay, I get it, go south. However, there is no place that has no winter, which means animals hibernate, animals go dormant, and plants produce zero food. I cannot live off of canned food alone, and I do not know what plants I can eat or not eat. If I'm moving to another hemisphere, it's easier said than done. Winter is a big deal no matter what. A third edit. Removing 99% of the population would leave 76 million, but the op states that 99.99% of the population has disappeared, which leaves 760,000. Leave a comment on Reddit and somehow still get people arguing with me. Living in the Bay Area, I'll probably still be stuck in traffic somewhere. Go back to sleep. No way am I going to force myself to get up and get to work on time. Download as much information as I can before the internet goes out. End up being one of the top 0.01% posters on Reddit within a week. That's for sure. First, research before the internet cuts out. Look up homes of eccentric architects with off-grid homes, preferably somewhere in California where you can farm year-round. At the very least, find neighborhoods with the highest levels of solar panels. Next, get a good traveling vehicle going with good supplies that you need long-term. Hunting equipment, books on survival, farming, etc. How to build radios, hook up solar power, filter water, etc. Go to the library and print off as much as possible from the internet that you might need before it's too late. Next, gather equipment that makes it easy to break into and hotwire cars, break into homes, and siphon gas. Collect gas containers as well. Eventually, establish myself in an off-grid home, at least with a power supply and rain water storage system. If I'm successful finding a home with good solar panel supply, find a Tesla and use that to get around. Next, figure out a radio system to start contacting people to build a community and take over a farm. Get to the farm animals before they die. I probably wouldn't feel so good. Sort Reddit by new. Grab a beer, chuck on the TV, sit in my pants and pray that two of the other survivors are the local Indians chef and delivery guy. Disney World would be pretty cool to explore. Make my way to Nebraska to meet up with Mother Abigail and figure out how to defeat the Dark Man. As another user stated, 760,000 people are left. Of those, all the 0 to 3-year-olds will die unless they are found by an adult who will care for them. All the old people in hospitals will also likely just die. Anyway, if we also assume a uniform disappearance across the planet, Canada, where I live, now has 3,900 people. In all of Canada. The US has 32,500 people. The entire population of Europe is now 74,000 people. I think I would go to the US to find some people. I'd rather find a group of people to create a community with than survive on my own. I'd probably leave as soon as possible. Gas has a shelf life of, what, 2 years. Get all the gas I can and start moving south. I wouldn't worry too much about food. 99.99% of the world being empty means every supermarket and convenience store will have food in it 4 years before it even comes close to being depleted. Canada has around 8,000 grocery stores, which is 2 full grocery stores of food per person. In the US, 2 people per grocery store. Either way, I won't go hungry for a very long time. If I need water or food, I can just go to a grocery store. The only threat is the sanity of people. If the wrong person is in charge of a community, things go bad. If I was in charge, I would try to uphold the old laws as much as possible. Jail time if you commit a crime. Don't murder people. assigned jobs, etc. Not much else I can do. Edit. A couple of comments reminded me of something. Anyone who is currently in prison is dead unless they are released by a guard who happened to also not vanish. I would probably die pretty soon. I live in a island country of 350,000 people, so there would be 3 to 4 of us left. Statistically everyone I care about is dead. So, likely life is about to get really lonely really fast. And anyone I meet is likely going to be just as broken. Find a nice spot in a place that isn't due for a reactor to blow that has a library nearby. Since I'm near DC, probably downtown. Finally no traffic on I-66. Craigslist meet up with the other 0.01%. Post on my Facebook wall asking who on my list is still alive. Why is everybody gathering supplies? I would go into random houses and get a glimpse of their lives. I look at all the heirlooms and everything they put on their fridge. Then I'd look for interesting things within the home, like a cavalry sword or something. Then I'd go out with a set of bagpipes and play music until somebody heard me. Front row of every roller coaster. I would wonder where everybody went. Why is nobody doing that? Default on my student loans. Probably look out for any planes in the sky, cause most of those duckers are coming down. Drive like a lunatic and steal people's pets. Unless by population you mean animals too. In which case I'd still go steal people's pets. Get far away from any nuclear reactors, as we have probably lost the people with the expertise to shut them down safely. Start trying to get down south. I'm not trying to deal with a New England winter. Look for Phil, Tandy, Carol, Todd, Melissa and the gang. My city would have 7 people. I'd go to the U-Haul down the street. Take the biggest one and drive it over to the grocery store. Then I'd build pallets of non-perishables, medicine, and water. I'd load the pallets into the truck. Then I'd drive over to Academy. Load up with as many guns and as much ammo as possible. Only a matter of time before shit hits the fan. Grab a few small generators as well. Then I'd drive out to the country and find a house hidden in the trees and hills. Edit. I originally thought we'd have 7,000 people. Not 7. That's why I was so amped up on buying guns and ammo. I'd still buy a boatload of ammo and a bunch of guns, just so I wouldn't have to deal with that for a long time while I'm getting used to the country life. Just wouldn't buy them with the idea of protection as much in mind. Go rank up to Diamond in Rainbow Six Siege. I'd go on Reddit to find the other 700,000. Try to contact people online before the power and internet shuts down. Try meeting up with them. Probably cry when I realize everyone I know and love is gone. Start the difficult task of repopulating the world. Someone's gotta do it. I'd go to check if my cat is still around. Flight Simulator X has trained me for this moment. Sierra Field about a mile away from the airport in a chard wreck. Assume I'm the only person left in the world. Gather supplies. Make an askreddit post asking where TF is everyone. I'd be pretty pissed at Thanos. It was supposed to only be half. Yeah, jackass. What the duck happened to perfectly balanced? Die. No people. No infrastructure, and I'm not currently prepared for this kind of situation. Find survivors and form patrols to rescue all the animals trapped alone in houses with no one to feed them. Step on my eyeglasses. I'd just go back to sleep. Then I guess I'd eventually go exploring. Alright, so this means a mid/small sized city of like 150k people now has 15 people remaining. It's safe to say I'm the only one left in my entire circle of friends, family, and coworkers. So it basically comes down to a zombie apocalypse type scenario, minus any need for actual protection. Just team up with the other 15 homies. Collect canned goods from grocery stores. Grab some farming books from the library and get learned, and then just hang out. Fishing, hunting, farming, scavenging, making babies, reading, Using bicycles to get around. Roads would be clogged with abandoned vehicles. Sounds like a dope life, honestly. Get to work on the last 0.01%. First I'll look for my soul. Then we travel and claim some castle as a dwelling. Load up on supplies. Find a fertile area near Hoover Dam. Set up a radio tower. Restart society. Celebrate good times. Come on. Find an empty mansion. Move in. Build the most intense pillow fort of all time and play video games within. You know. Normal stuff. Complain about the small amount of new posts on Reddit. Destroy things. Steal cars. Light stuff on fire. Etc. I'd watch films until social chaos descends. Electricity goes. Then I'd kill myself in a fun way. Loot. You know that Simpsons Halloween special where Homer thinks he's the last person alive and sings naked in the church? Probably that. Eat like a king until all the food in the grocery stores goes bad. Considering there are now only 5 people in my entire city, there's probably enough canned/dry food to go around for at least 15 years when it all starts to go bad. Medicine should be in ample supply until it expires. Water towers will hardly get used. So until the water gets super dirty from being stagnant, I'll be fine. In that time, learn all I can about farming and other survival skills from books in abandoned public libraries and such. I'll probably take the ones I deem important. As an electrical engineer, I may want to set up base in a semi-remote water turbine generator. I will try to repair it indefinitely with resources in the city, so I can keep refrigeration and water purification, so I can survive. Since there are so few people, defense should be a low priority. But considering it's Atlanta, I'll certainly find a few firearms along the way. I'll take them just in case things go sour. While in the city, I'll search for a wide variety of vehicles, including a truck, an SUV, a fast sports car, and an electric car, just for variety. Currency is now worthless. Gold and silver are too. Probably. But just in case they're not, or eventually regain some value, rob all jewelry stores and financial institutions that hold on to gold and silver. Shouldn't take that long, and may end up being a really worthwhile thing to do. I'd probably adjust my strategy depending on whether or not I meet survivors, and what skills they bring to the table. Finding a female survivor should be something I do eventually, so I can keep the human race going. But that should be pretty low priority. How long would electricity work? Go to a video game shop and loot all the games I haven't had the chance to play yet. Go find the agrocrag and it my centerpiece of my backyard. 1. Acquire a large diesel truck and some weapons. 2. Sprint to Upper Michigan, scavenging as many supplies as I can carry along the way. 3. Set up shop in some well-insulated home before gas goes bad. 4. Hunt/fish/hydroponic farm for food. Use Lake Superior for water. 5. Die alone. Seize Walmart. Whenever these kind of "you're one of the last people on earth" type scenario things get posted, inventively you get the long-winded survival plan of gathering resources and setting up your little dream man cave to live happily ever after in. The one big flaw in all of this thinking is it usually revolved around the person just having an unlimited fuel supply. Generally gasoline powered things. Here's the thing though. Gasoline and diesel degrades, and at best might last a year. I think there are special kinds of diesel or some additives you can use to make it store longer. A friend and I were discussing this once, and knowing this fact he came up with the best idea I could think of. Learn to drive a big rig truck. Going to assume there's a good amount of them sitting around, and obviously they can haul a large amount of goods. Your next goal then is to stockpile as much propane as possible. Why, you say? Because propane does not degrade over time. So get as much of it as you can, and learn to maintain the storage apparatuses. But modern ones should last for quite some time with minimal leakage. Again, assume you've got a year at most to use up all the gas-operated vehicles and other equipment lying around. Use that to stockpile as much stuff as you can at a large facility that would ideally be protected from the element. Perhaps one that has a propane backup generator already set up. In a climate that's not too harsh and good for farming. If you're literally the only person you'll ever likely encounter again, then you should be able to stockpile enough propane, along with basic non-perishables, to last you the rest of your life. Once all the gas-operated things no longer work, the best bet would be propane vehicles. A good source of this would be municipal vehicle lots, as many cities have transitioned their municipal vehicles, especially buses, to run off propane, and at the parking/maintenance facilities they usually have refueling tanks. TLDR. If you want long-term power generation, get lots of propane. Thank you for watching. Like, share and check out other videos.